everybody, John from Retired Rider. Hope everyone is doing well today. 61 days till spring. Yes, I'm counting them down. I probably shouldn't be because you don't want to push life along too fast. But can't wait for the warm weather to get here. Anyway, topic for you guys today. What is the worst thing you've been hit by or you have hit while you're riding your motorcycle? Well, I've got quite a few over the years, but I think one of the worst experiences I had as far as getting hit by something was way back some years ago. I decided, hey, it was getting toward evening. It was getting dark outside, and I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go for a ride. And back then, fortunately, I wore a helmet a lot of the times. I don't anymore, and I should. We all should. And I got on the bike. It was actually, I remember the bike, it was a Honda CB 650 Custom. And, well, like I said, I went out for a ride. I was just cruising along, you know, some of the back roads close to home. And I went down, it had gotten dark, and I went down into a little valley going down, and it goes back up. And no sooner as I got down in there, something, I to this day I have no clue what it was. It had to be a bird of some kind, of course, or who knows what it was. I didn't see it, so I don't know. Anyway, I got down in there. As soon as I got down in there, something came across, or came at me. Couldn't really tell which way it hit me. It all happened so, you know, things happen so fast. I was probably cruising about, I don't know, 35, 40 mile an hour. Wasn't going much faster than that. And whatever it was, it hit me. And I just remember my head going back, and I was losing grip of the handlebars. Well, fortunately, I didn't lose control. I regained my grip on the handlebars, and I went on. After that, I did go home. I looked at my helmet. There was no damage to the helmet. But whatever came across that road or came at me, it hit me pretty hard. For something to swing you back and almost push you off the handlebars, that's a pretty good hit. That's one. There's another time, of course, everybody gets rocks that comes up and flies up and hits them. You get them big bugs that smack you in the head or the forehead or the shin or hit you in the chest, and that shit hurts. It hurts. And everybody's had that. But I do recall another time I was riding along. We were just riding along, me and the wife, and all of a sudden, I had my glasses on, sunglasses on, riding glasses, whatever you want to call them. And all of a sudden, there he was. There was a bee in between my glasses and my eyeball. And I'm like, holy crap. For a second, I'm thinking, do I do anything? What do I do here? I know the bee's not going to get out of there on its own. And I'm just thinking, I am going to get stung straight in the eyeball. So I just grabbed my glasses and it went away. Thank God I didn't get stung in the eyeball. But that's another one. And I'm sure if you've been in the area where there were cicadas and you were out riding, I remember a few years back when the cicadas come out, everybody was saying, well, you won't be riding this year. People that I know that don't ride. I said, hey, yeah, I will. The cicadas are not going to stop me. But getting hit by those don't feel good either. And then there was another time we were out riding, and I felt something on my neck, and I wasn't sure. I was like, what the? You know, I kind of brushed it off, and then something got me. So I one of those, I didn't see a bug. I don't know if it was a bee. I'm allergic to bees, so I don't think it was that. But it got me on the neck, and it kind of swelled me up pretty good. But, yeah, that's another instance. As far as, that's just a few out of many things that's hit me over the years on the road. I've had pieces of tire and pieces of cardboard. We even had wood come at us before. So, chunks of wood. And just miss things like that. So, I mean, it can be dangerous. I know on the highway, when I'm on the highway, one of the things that scares me the most on the highway is that as a separated a truck 18-wheeler, one of her wheels tires separating and just blowing a big chunk of rubber out and just smacking you in the head, and that can kill you. I mean, that could just a hit of it alone can kill you, and then after it hits you and you lose control of the bike, that's going to be, of course, detrimental. They do a lot of damage. My wife actually, a truck lost one, and she actually she couldn't get away from it. It happened so fast that she ended up hitting it, and it did so much damage to the car. I think it was, I want to say $3,000 of damage to the car. So just think what it would do to your head. So when we're riding on the interstate and we're getting anywhere close to 18-wheelers, that kind of is always in the back of my head. Just at any time they could have a separated tire, and that can smack you, and that definitely would not be good. So yeah, there's been plenty of things that I've had to dodge over the years, and I'm sure you guys too. So as far as hitting things on the road, I've hit roadkill. I'm sure we all have. There's been situations where you just can't avoid it, which is a scary thing when you squish over that roadkill. It don't feel good at all. You can maintain control if you have a good speed going, but yeah, that's not good. And I've learned over the years riding, if there is something in the road you can't avoid, speed up. Speed up and go over it as quick as you can. Don't try to go over it slow. In my experience, if you try to go over it too slow, you could actually lose control more than just speeding up and going over it a little faster. I remember one time we were out here, I live in Ohio. We're real close, just a few miles from Indiana. We were out on Route 50, and Route 50 goes from, actually Ohio all the way out into Indiana. And I was riding out through there, and they had, it's 4 lanes, 2 on each side, and you got your divide, and then they had it down to just 1 lane on this side and going one way and the other lane coming the other way. And they had the daggone barrels. And sometimes they use those barrels, they use the old tires they cut, and they slide it down over top of the barrel, and that's what holds the barrel down. Well, me making a mistake like we always do, I was following a little too close. We were kind of in some traffic. We were doing about 50 miles an hour. And I'll be damned if there wasn't one of those, not the barrel, but one of those things to hold the barrel down in the road. I had no choice but to go over it. I couldn't speed up too fast because of traffic in front of me. So I sped up over it, went over it. But when I was going over it, I was thinking, Lord, this thing is either going to wrap up underneath the motorcycle, or it's going to wrap up around the tire into the fender, and this is going to be a total disaster. That's what I was thinking in that split second. But fortunately, the bike just went right over it, and down the road I went. But that definitely freaked me out. There's another time, this is Indiana also, excuse me. We were riding along, and we ran over something. We were on 350 North, and we ran over something in the road. I don't recall what it was, but it made one hell of a noise. And I thought for sure that the bottom of the bike was wiped out. I'm going to have a cracked case, whatever the case may be. It was bad. It had to have been something metal. I don't remember. By the time we got stopped to pull over to look to see what the damage might have been or anything, I couldn't see what it was. But fortunately, it put a couple little scrapes in the frame, but it didn't do any damage to the engine or anything else. But that could have been another bad situation. So over the years, I've hit things have hit me, and I've been stung a few times. I'm sure you guys have too. You get in those situations where some things just can't be avoided. And we've hit some bad roads where you're just, we have air ride on this now, but we've hit some things. If you own a Harley, the suspension on Harley is not good. It's just not good. If you want your suspension to be better, you're going to have to go up and do upgrades, because the suspension on Harleys are just not good. So we did do an upgrade on this, and it's better. But there's breaks in the highway, like when we travel down to River Gorge, or if we travel down to Tennessee, or wherever we're going. And there's just sometimes the break in the road between going across the bridge and from the road. Those breaks can be pretty bad. And there's times we've hit some things where I thought for sure, I mean, damn, I was going to lose control of that bike, but we didn't. But it sends your gut right up into your, basically into your chin. I mean, you feel it through your whole body. And I mean, it'll just bottom you out. So yeah, there's a lot out there on the road that you have to be aware of. And unfortunately, you can be aware as you want to be, and look, as much as you want to look and hard as you want to look at everything. But there's some things that just creep up on you that you just don't see, and they can really hurt. They can really hurt. There's a spot on a road we often go through up in Indiana where, I mean, it's hilly. It's got just the road slides, and they're always repairing it and things like that. And there was a spot which they repaired recently, but it would always get my wife. I always remember the spot was there, and the bike would hit pretty hard, or it'll send you out of your seat and back down, or it'll send your gut, everything lower up into your gut. And there's a few times I knew it was coming. She didn't remember it, and boy, she felt it. So there's things out there, and some of that stuff can really cause some serious accidents. Something flies up in the road and hits you in the head. I often think about that. If you watch my videos, I've talked before about helmets. I'm not a big helmet fan, not because I want to be cool, and I ain't gonna wear a helmet because I'm cool. That has nothing to do with it. To me, it takes away from the experience of riding a motorcycle. I like being in the wind. I like feeling the wind in my face. With a helmet, you don't. I'm not trying to make excuses. I know for a fact that you should wear a helmet. I mean, even going 10 mile an hour or 5 mile an hour, you fall over, you hit the concrete, smack your head, it can kill you. I mean, it can explode your head like a watermelon. So we should wear helmets. But I often think about that, especially when we're on the interstate. 9 times out of 10, if we're taking a trip on the interstate, we put our helmets on, we put our gear on, and we go. But sometimes we're out just riding around locally, and we won't put our helmet on. And there's times I'm on the highway, I'm thinking, man, what if something rock just comes up and just levels me right in the head? It ain't going to be a good thing. So this year, I think, more than any other year, and of course there's places we go where we have to wear a helmet, but I think here in Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky, we don't. And if we're riding here locally, we don't wear one. But I think this year we're going to get in the habit of riding with our helmets more. But yeah, those thoughts often come to my mind. Let me know. Let me know what you've hit, what have hit you, how you reacted, how you got out of it. Did it do any damage to your bike? Did it do any damage to you? Like I said, I've been hit with rocks or whatever that's coming up in the road. It's left pretty good bruises on my shins before. I mean, that shit hurts. I mean, it definitely hurts. You get smacked in the forehead with a big enough bug, you're going to know. You're going to know. You're going to feel it. Like I said, let me know. Put a comment down there. Let me know what you've been hit with, what you've hit. What kind of damage it did. What kind of damage did it do to your bike. What kind of damage did it do to you. Fortunately, even though I've hit a lot of things over the years, I've never ended up with a flat. Now I probably cursed myself. Let me know if you've hit something in the road and it caused a flat. How you handled it. How you handled control of the bike having a flat. That's something, even though all of my 30 plus years, I've never experienced a flat on a motorcycle. I have had come home and then come out the next day and the tire be flat. But I've never been actually riding down the highway or riding down the road and my tire get something in it and it go flat on me. And just go flat as I was riding. So if you've had that experience, let me know how you got through that, how you handled it. Because that's one thing I've never, ever had happen to me. So, I mean, I don't want it to ever happen to me. And hopefully, if it does happen to me, we handle it in the best way possible. Yeah, again, I mean, it's never fun being stung. The freakiest thing was, I got to tell you, what I told you guys earlier. The freakiest thing was having that bee between my glasses. I mean, my riding glasses are pretty tight to my face, and it just blew my mind. I'm like, how in the hell did this bee get in between my glasses and my face? But it sure the hell did, and it didn't sting me, thank God, because that would have been double whammy. In the eye, that's bad enough. Being allergic, that makes it worse. So anyway, yeah, put it down in the comment section. Let me know what you've been hit with, what you have hit, what it did to you, what it did to the bike, and how you handled it. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Like I said, I always appreciate your guys' comments. I mean, it makes my day when you guys comment. So leave a comment. Let me know. Like I said, what have you hit? What have you hit? What's hit you on the road? And we'll see you on the next one. Be safe out there. Take care.